All right, blessings, everyone. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about how to use Ormis with your copper card. And if you don't have Ormis and you don't have a copper card, that's okay. We're going to do an activation at the end. And this is just for you to have an opportunity to learn a little bit about what they are, how we can use them, and hopefully spark some inspiration on kind of how to explore both the Ormus and the copper card and how to use them together. So today we're really going to focus on how to kind of calm the nervous system or to calm anxiety. But also I want to kind of just focus on how to use the card in other situations as well. And then we're going to do a group activation. And I kind of feel like we'll come up with a community intention with that. So just kind of be thinking about what you would want your intention to be. All right, so the first thing I want to do is talk a little bit about what Ormus is for those that maybe Ormus is something new. ORMUS stands for orbited rearranged monoatomic element or unidentified substance. It is an element, so they can be any element can be put into an ORMUS state. I hope I'm saying that right. I guess I don't know that for sure, but most elements can. The elements that we mostly focus on are gold, copper, and silica. Sometimes we'll branch out into to other nutrients, but those are the ones that we kind of focus on. Gold is one of the biggest ones. So all of your Ormuses, if you have an Ormus that I've created, will have both gold in a Ormus state and also in a nano state. So when we break down gold into a nanoparticle, it becomes a liquid, and that liquid normally will either be red, purple, or actually can go as dark as black. And that is means that the particle size is very, very, very small. And then we take those particle sizes and we put them into a spin state. So what that means is that if you looked at it under a microscope, you would see that it's the element of gold, but then it would disappear and then it comes back. And so that's why they call it in a spin state. So it actually will go into the multi dimensions and then come back. And why would we want to bring that into our auric field? Why would you want to put it on your skin? Why would you possibly even go as far as ingesting it? Well, because it is both form and spirit, it also has the consciousness of what it is to be both form and spirit. So anytime you're looking at shifting anything, whether it's something that you want to heal, something that you consciously are trying to ascend beyond, what is that saying? It's saying that, well, I'm going to take something that is solid. So whether that is a belief system that you're having trouble letting go of, or it's something solid that you're trying to transform, even as far as what aging, right? Is that we're taking something that's in a linear timeline that is created form, and then we're putting it into a spin state or into a state or a frequency that is not form. And I call that abstract frequency. You can say that's the frequency of source. It's putting it into the quantum field. You can realign it. And then by the time it moves back into form, that it is holding your desire. And now I'm going to kind of take that concept of what I just told you, and we're going to connect it into how you can use Ormus with the copper card to actually code it when it's kind of in that spin state or up in the state of within the quantum field, how to code it so by the time it moves back into form, that it's holding a very specific intention for you to experience. So the two things I think I want to teach today with the copper card and Ormus, it's so exciting, is both to calm anxiety and to reprogram the synapse responses of the mind and the nervous system to calm it down. And the other thing I want to do is showing you how you can use it to heal something of the body, because I feel like those are the two things that we could all use a little support on and that are very useful. And then if there's some other intentions, we can look at those as well. All right, so if you have an Ormus and want to grab it, I have two different ones here. I think I'm going to use the kind of our go-to, the Scalar 33. I see a little fur baby coming in, and then of course the copper card. when we're working with anxiety, there's always going to be different reasons that maybe we're triggered. If we happen to know what the trigger is, meaning you just had a conversation with a family member and you got triggered and you're feeling the chemicals going in the body. Maybe it's something that you're worrying about that's coming up that is triggering a chemical. So when we have the awareness of where the trigger is coming from, I like to go in and actually code or find out the specific code that it's connected to. So if you have a pendulum or you know how to muscle test, you can actually go grab your copper card and ask, what are the six codes that I need to use so that I can reprogram my body that's leaping in this triggered response of my nervous system? And I would just go, is it one? Is it two? Is it three? It's four. Is it five? It's six? Is it seven? Is it eight? It's eight, nine, 10, 11, 12. So no, it's those four. Now I already forgot what they are, but I would write them down. So then I know what my specific codes are. And I also know, because this is a triggered response, that my body is holding a frequency pattern that is creating that triggered response. So if you're talking to a family member and you get triggered, you know that your body is holding, your nervous system is running a program. Otherwise, you could talk to that family member and not be triggered, right? Because if you're triggered, you know you're in a program. Now we have our four codes of how we're going to code that. Then we want to use the Ormus, right? Because remembering that Ormus will take something that's a form, so meaning the way that your nervous system is working, and we're going to move it into that higher state or within the quantum field, where is also where possibility is. So it's taking something that was linear, bringing it to the quantum. It's holding the possibility. What do we want it to be the possibility of? It was 3, 4, 8, 11, I believe, is what it was. So I know that's what I'm going to code it with, so that by the time my nervous system realigns, that is holding this new frequency pattern. And then I can move into my consciousness into what that pattern, I get to explore what it is, the possibilities. All right, so this is what we're going to do. If you have your Ormus and want to pull that out, if you have a copper card, don't worry if you don't, because I'm going to actually bring the codes up. So I believe, unless somebody actually was listening to me code that, I believe it was 3, 4, 8, and 11. And if it wasn't, then that's what we're going with. Okay. So what I would do, depending on if you want to do it ingesting it or not, I would first put a drop of Ormus under my tongue and then watch this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the coding. So I just put the Ormus in my mouth, right? So the intention is to recode my nervous system outside of this program and put it into this higher frequency. So after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and press on the 3. So here's the 3 if you don't have the copper card and want to just experience that. So this is activating a divine blueprint. So the 3 is the architecture. So it's the ability, or the architect, it's the divine blueprint is also inspiration. But you can see it kind of looks like an arrow. So it's opening up clear pathways, divine pathways. So just like for a few minutes, not minutes, few seconds. And then I'm going to go to the 4. Same thing, just holding it for about, usually it's around 20 to 30 seconds. I always feel a little click in my body when it's time to move on. So the 4 is that new form. So this is when it's taking that divine blueprint and it's starting to realign the nervous system. into this higher frequency. So you start to feel that it's working with the Ormis. So the Ormis is working with the DNA. It's also working with the synapse responses of the mind. And I'm just going to kind of cruise through these because we're going to do some other stuff. Then I would go to the 8. This is opening up divine flow. So it's allowing the body to stay in a flow state, releasing any resistance. And then the 11 is activating consciousness outside of the program that we just reprogrammed. So the 11 is that Christ consciousness, Buddha consciousness, or the ability to hold consciousness outside of the programmed experience. All right, so now because I was just using my fingers to code this, I'm not only coding my DNA, but now my fingertips are holding that frequency. So I'm going to rub my fingers together. I'm going to take a drop of Ormus and put it on my fingertips. I'm going to go like this. And now I'm going to get my fingers and I'm going to put it on each side of my brain. And I'm going to shut my eyes and I'm going to feel the frequency of the Ormus move in and actually rewire the synapse responses of my mind. How many of you guys have noticed when you're shifting something pretty big, like especially on a, sorry, and let me just, it's like actively doing something. When you're shifting kind of a way that you think or a belief system, sometimes you get like a really weird kind of headache or pressure in your head. So doing this afterwards really supports the mind holding those higher frequencies so you don't have as much pressure. Sometimes the pressure can be so bad for me that I feel like my brain is bigger than my skull. And this helps just rewire and put the synapse responses into a higher frequency. That usually can take, like anywhere from like a minute to 2 minutes. And then if you still have a little Ormus, you can always just rub it on your heart space and do the same. Bring that coherence between the brain and the heart. So just feeling that activate there. And then you could even go as far as bringing the frequencies into alignment. And after doing those 4 codes and doing this little balance, you should feel a lot different. And then what do you do afterwards, right? So I just did this coding. I realigned the synapse responses with the Ormis. The Ormis is flowing through my bloodstream. It's putting the nervous system into a higher frequency. Well, now what do we do? Well, now we stay open and curious, right? We don't go searching, okay, is it still there? Do I still feel like crap? No. Do I go into like trying to analyze everything? No. We stay open to curious. So, like, what's different now? That's the most important thing is that anytime we do a shift, we always want to stay open and curious and explore what has changed instead of grasping our mind and trying to go in and did it work? Did it work? Did it work? That's not where we want to go. We want to stay open and curious and allow the frequency to show us what just changed, right? Okay, I want to do one more and then we'll open it up to questions because if you have something you want to work on, and then we'll finish it with a little activation. The other one I want to show you is how to, if you have something that you're healing. So if that's inflammation, maybe it's a weird spot that you kind of came up on the skin. Ormus, by the way, is so amazing for any weird spots on the skin. It is like magic. Same thing, you're going to do the same thing. Knowing that when you're working, if it's something you're working with the skin, you're always going to work with DMT code number 1. If it's anything with the fascia, so meaning if it's an injury, I'm like, well, I don't know what is with the balloons today. Anytime that there's an injury, let's say a pulled muscle, a broken bone, even something like arthritis, I'm going to go as far as to say you're going to want to do 2, 3, and 4. 2 is the fascia, 3 is the muscle, and 4 is bone. So if you wanted to add the skin in there, you could too, if you wanted to go that far. All right, so that's what we're gonna focus on kind of with that. So you would just go and do the same thing, but instead of ingesting the Ormis, you're going to put the Ormis on whatever body part that you're healing. So I'm actually going to do this. I have like a little bit of weird pain going on in my knee from doing a weight class this morning. So I'm going to just rub the Ormis right onto my knee. And I'm going to keep my hand on my knee. And then we'll do the 1, 2, 3, 4. So then I'll take so my intention is to feel that frequency. So as I'm putting the Ormus on, I'm taking that pattern or the inflammation, I'm putting it into the quantum field. So what I was experiencing as form or a program or pain is now going into the quantum field. I'm going to shift it to the 2. And I'm recoding. So when we're working with the codes, we're working on an epigenetic level. So healing or working with the nervous system can be so powerful because we're shifting the body from observing the programming or shifting it out of that 2-strand DNA system into the 12 to where the body begins to identify a source. And we're giving the codes of what is our fascia in the frequency of source, right? What is our bones? What is our muscle? So we're turning on those frequencies on the higher operating system of the body. And then we're supporting that with the Ormus by bringing in a multidimensional element, reminding our body that it's both form and spirit. And I'm feeling a lot of heat where my hand is touching my knee right now. And then I'm going to end with the 4. And you could even do it the opposite way if you wanted to start with the 4 and go to the 1. You could try that too. I might do that tonight before I go to bed. Okay, so now I've activated that. And with the healing, like especially with something like that, I would go ahead and end it by ingesting a drop and let that. Okay, well, that's what I wanted to show you today. So now I'm going to open it up to just questions and how I can support you in using the copper card, or if you have any questions about what I just shared with you. Anybody at all have a question on how you can use it? Does anybody? Yeah, Morgan, I'm going to pin you because we have a lot of people here. Okay.
Okay, so does it matter which Ormus you use? Because I have so many, and then as I've been healing my broken leg and everything, and I'm never sure which one to use. Yeah.
So with anytime you're working with something that's deep healing, like something like what you're doing, I would use the Cell Ascension Ormus, and that's the one with the heart on it.
This one? Oh,
Yep, that's it. That's
okay.
Yep, I would use that one for anything. And anything that's like more topical, you could still use this one, but something like a little dark spot shows up, or then I would just go with the Scalar 33 one. But either one is great for that because they both are ascending.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, of course you can use the copper card without the Ormus. Today we're just kind of bringing them together and just showing it a fun way, but that was just a question that popped up. Thank you, Morgan. Let me remove your pen and then we'll go with Lori. Hi, Lori.
Hey, oh, there you are.
I know there's so many boxes, right?
My question, is it's the intention, right? with the copper, what is it the copper is important for?
So,
Because I was considering, ordering, your deck of cards, but is the
mhm.
copper card better than having the deck, or is it you recommend both, or
Yeah,
instead?
I would go with the copper card for just transmission purposes, because the copper is like the transmitter. It's I'm like the word that I'm trying to get to isn't coming in right now, but see it as a transmitter. And it's something very easy that you can carry around. I put mine in my phone, and it becomes an EMF detector. When I go to a restaurant, I'll put my glass on it and it structures my water. I can structure my food. So it's kind of like the go-to tool with the cards. That becomes like a whole, it's like you're learning the language and you're learning a very specific way of using the codes more for consciousness. And there, I am teaching a workshop on that next week. I have an interview. You know what? Will you go to New Earth one and grab that interview, Angie, that I just did with Lauren Bailey?
I just saw that.
Oh, you did. So you saw it. Okay, so perfect. So
I
that's
was
like
just in
a
that.
different way of
I,
listening to, of or
I looked at it and I considered it. I'm still in,
okay.
I have to decide where I'm placing my energies these days because everybody's calling me
Oh
and
my
it's,
gosh,
I
I
want it. I
feel
want that. And I got to say, oh, I signed up for that. Oh no, it's at the same time as that. So, oh boy,
it.
and I don't always like to go into the replays. So,
I feel so always we're all about the divine yeses here. As far as practicality of just everyday use, I would go with the copper card just because it's a little bit of everything. You can do a lot with it. Going to these is kind of taking it to a lot more learning, a deeper level is something that you're just gonna experience in a new way. So this is a nice entry level of experiencing it, and then decide if you want to go this deep.
and I saw in your offer that your cards are included in that
Yeah.
workshop offer, I thought. So,
Yes,
oh.
they are.
So that would be, what's the difference in price? I mean, do you have specials on the copper card?
Yeah,
Or
we have
did I miss it?
specials all the time. So
Oh,
if you get on our newsletter, we send out specials all the time. Like we really try to honor our family and give them opportunities to try new things. So just that's always there as well.
well,
Yeah.
good to see you again.
You
Yeah.
too. So good to have
Thank you.
you here. Thank you.
Click
All
off.
right. I know there's a couple questions in the chat, but we'll go ahead with Sandy.
Can you use the copper card on for a family member? A family member is having a health issue. Can I use the copper card if I have their permission for clearing? And if so, the issue is with my daughter's eyes.
Yeah. So is it something that she would be present with you?
Well, I've given her codes that and took a picture of them and told her to look at those codes every day. But if there's something that I can do on her behalf with her not being present,
I would say for this experience, probably just sharing the codes with, because then you're kind of getting more into a practitioner role, and that's not really what this is, what we're doing right now. If you were with her and she wanted to hold the card, I would just do exactly what you just did. Just scan and then
okay.
have her do it herself. And if
Okay.
you wanted to use the Ormis, you could even have her like put the Ormis around the orbit of the eye, just not in the eye, like, you know, just a little drop, rub it into the fingers and just gently pat around the orbit and then do the code.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So fun. I love that. Thank you. Okay. Remove, and then we'll go with Fleur.
Hi. Yes, I was wondering about codes. I love the idea. I mean, I use the card quite a lot. I put my water glass on it and things like that, and use the Ormis and right up and put it just a drop in it. I hadn't thought of combining the two. I was, in the way that we have today. I was wondering about codes perhaps that could help boost fertility
Mhm.
and balance hormones and that sort of thing. Part of the sort of youthening and everything else.
I want it all. I think there is a quick shift for the cells and healing on the back, so you can always do that. And then for fertility, I believe it's DMT code number 6 is the one that you'll want to use for that. I'm also getting it to pair that with an 8, kind of opens up flow, and then you could end it with the 3-4 because that's creation, creativity, and then the 4 is bringing that creation into form. So starting with the 6 and the 8, and then go with the 3 and the 4.
Thank you.
Of
Thank you.
course. Yeah, let me know how it goes. Thank you. Okay, Cindy. Oh, where'd you go, Cindy?
I'm here.
Oh, there
Do you
you are.
see me? Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
What about for like treating an internal organ?
Which organ in particular?
The uterus.
That would be the 6 as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Jules, I'll let you know a few questions in the chat. One is, can you use on pets? And does Ormus have a shelf life?
Yes, you can use it on pets, absolutely. I make it really easy. I have a copper card under Roger's water dish so that he's drinking the structured water. But if he hurt, like he did just hurt himself, gosh, it's been like almost 6 or 7 weeks now, and he jumped up on the bed and couldn't walk. He injured his foot. So I put it right under, I did the 1, 2, 3, 4. I put it right under his little paw when he was laying there. And the next day, he wouldn't even know anything happened. He was completely fine. So he went from not being able to walk to running around in circles the next morning. So you could also do the scanning for animals as well. And as far as Ormis, I did rub Ormis on his paw and did exactly what I just showed you guys on a personal, like for our bodies, I did for him. So I rubbed the Ormus on his paw. I did his code. I laid the code underneath his paw and let the magic happen. And then the shelf life for Ormus, no, it actually the longer, Kathy, I think she has one that's literally 5 years old. It's almost the longer it's around, the stronger it gets. And that's because it is consistently spinning. So the longer it's sitting there and all of those elements are spinning, the stronger it gets. So kind of
And
special.
Jules, just a couple more from the chat, and then we can get to Beverly. But there's three. One, what would be a good code for like mediumship, like psychic mediumship
Mhm.
work? And
I love
then gallbladder and fatty liver.
Will you look up which code the liver is while I do the code for mediumship? So mediumship, you're going to want to go the 7, absolutely. 7 is the opening the channel, the gateway kind of for communication. Then I feel from there, it's almost who you're talking to. So if it's just something where you're wanting to open up your divine gifts, I would do the 7, 8, 9, 11. So what that is opening up the channel, being able to take the information that's there and keep it in flow without attacking it with your programming. And then the 9 is being able to see the information or hold the information in the divine frequency. And then the 11 is taking it outside of programming altogether. Because anytime we're channeling, we don't want to process it through our own programming. So it just keeps the information very clean. But I'm also getting, it's funny that you're saying this because I'm feeling all these people wanting to come in and talk now, just by bringing that intention. And so having that intention there, I think is important. So the other thing I was going to say is if you're trying to contact somebody in particular, you may start with the 7, 8, 9, and 11, and then ask if there is a specific code that they would like to speak through, and then go to whatever the additional code would be. All right. And did you happen to figure out what?
No.
No, that's
I
okay.
just don't have it at my fingertips.
I
I'm
know,
sorry.
I know. I'm for some reason I want to say it might be 4, but I'm not sure. So I'll let you kind of explore that, and then we'll go to Beverly here. Hi, Beverly.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Uh-huh.
I was trying to wait and be careful. I'm sorry because there's a lot of banging they're building above me. So I wanted to ask about, like, say, the bladder, kidney, and spleen organ area.
Okay, so that would be code, I believe, 11. No, that's the lungs. See, I don't have all of them memorized. I'll have to have Angie look that one up as well. The gall, kidney. Oh, I know kidney's 1. It's number 1.
Okay.
So that would also be adrenals.
Yes, it is. Yes.
And then what
Yes.
else did you say? I can't remember.
Bladder. Bladder's a big one.
I would have to look it up what that one is. I know the kidneys is 1. Let me just feel, because this is also where sometimes it doesn't start where we think it is. And so sometimes like knowing what the code is isn't necessarily what it is, right? So I would even say for you in particular, what's your code? Is it 1? So you have a 3, a 5, a 9, and that's it. That's what I would do, or those. And then if you wanted to add the Ormus, you could add, rub a little bit into your kidneys, and then a little bit into like your bladder area, just knowing that that's the intention. And then doing those codes if you wanted to, or
And
just,
Jules, I have found it and I'm putting it in the chat. So stay give me an extra couple minutes so I can finish and post it for everyone.
okay, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you feel complete with that, Beverly?
I do, and I thank you. Because that was my question initially, but the noise I couldn't is, retrieving the codes. How,
Yeah.
you're the guru. We're learning.
Your body always knows, right? So if you can muscle test or just do a pendulum, sometimes that's better than going to the mind and assuming that it's going to be what we think it is, and just let your
Yeah.
body tell you what it is.
Yes, I agree with that part. One more question. So I had an injury to my left hand, whipping, a hand, and the finger was dislocating, but it's injured the tendon at the middle finger, between the middle and index finger. The tendon snaps over to the left like a rubber band. Yes, and the ligament, that meaty piece in between the two fingers, is still very, very tender. So
this is like just coming to me, so this is kind of out of the scope of what I've already said. With something a little bit deeper like that, I'm getting to put, a dropper full. So just getting the Ormus, if you have it, do a good dropper full, put it in some structured water in a bowl, do the code, so scan for what the code is, put the bowl on top of, so press the codes, put the bowl on top of it with the Ormus, and then soak your hand in
my
it.
hand, beautiful. Thank you. You
Yeah.
see, you're the guru. Thank you so much. I wouldn't have thought of that, but it's perfect.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
of course. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah, for sure.
Great. Thank you, Beverly.
Thank you.
All right, let's go with Linda. Oh, you're still on mute, Linda.
Hello. I
Hi.
was wondering if this is only about the physical things, or is it also about internal, like more abstract?
Absolutely. Yeah, it can be, and that's a big part of what the codes are doing are it's reprogramming on a cellular level. So it can, of course, we're focusing on physical healing for the most part in this call, but it can be something like a triggered response, or it could be something. I want to manifest abundance, right? That could be something that we want to bring in. So it's kind of, we have the quick shifts on the back, but do you have something that you're working on that you're thinking about?
Yeah, my soul is calling for more fulfilling and authentic embodiment.
Mm,
So it's coming through various themes. So I was wondering how, okay, but I don't have the copper card, but the copper card has on the back of it, yes, I see the themes, for example.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you didn't have the copper card, another way that you could do it. So anything, I'm just listening to what you're saying. I'm just picking up on the energy. And one of the things that anytime that we're doing some rewiring and trying to bring the body into a higher frequency is working with the nervous system, because we want to raise the nervous system, because your nervous system is what is perceiving reality, right? So it's picking up on our subconscious, it's picking up on our conscious, it's picking up the vibration that our body's holding, but even more so, it's scanning our environment and telling us what to see, what to think, and all those things. I just uploaded a couple of videos on our YouTube channel on using the codes to ascend the nervous system. So that could be somewhere if you walked into that and you have an intention of, I want to be in more like to feel authentic in all areas of my life, let's say, and then do the activation and just witness the shift. And then stay open and curious to the information that comes back through just your relationships or the way you're thinking and that sort of thing, and then keep going. So that's just an easy way that you could start experiencing right now without having the copper card.
My goodness, that's amazing. That's exactly it. The nervous system for sure.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's a big
amazing. Thank you so much.
one. Of course, thank you so much for asking. It's good to see you, Linda. Okay, I'm gonna go to, is there anybody else? Do we have any other?
Yeah, there's another one. Would you use four for the bone for teeth? Is it different for gums?
So gums, I feel like would be, because they're not really, I almost, would that be skin? Gums, that's interesting. Here, let's ask instead of trying to figure it out. Would it, working with teeth, would it be the one? Yes. Two? Yes. Three? Four? I'm getting one, three, four. Anything else? Yes. So is it five, six, seven, eight, nine, 11, 22? So what did I say? One, two, four, 22. That one is great for Ormis. Make a little mouthwash
Mm.
code as you're swishing. Structure the water with the Ormis with your
Would you
intention.
use distilled water, Jules?
Yeah, I probably would. Or just structured like spring water. Hmm.
Also, someone asked about a code for animal communication, and I suggested two, that connector communicator, what do you have any input on that?
I would add the seven just for the channel, open communication, two, two, seven. maybe even the 11, so that it stays pure. That's a good one. I
And
love
here's a great question. What about clearing the liver of heavy metals?
what number is the liver?
Sorry, my puppy is very excited for her walk. The
Oh,
liver, what did we say? Um, I don't know what it would be most connected to. Jules, in the chat, I wrote the list of what I had.
okay. So let me just ask for detoxing the liver. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 33?
Also, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
What's your take on, the copper card comes in a little sleeve. What's your take on whether you need the sleeve or not?
You can leave it on. I use mine all the time with it on. Kind of protects it. But if you want to take it off, if you feel it just how sensitive you are, but it works. You don't have to have, you can keep the plastic on. It's a preference. That's a good question.
I hope I got to everyone in the chat. If I didn't, just raise your hand and let us know.
Javier?
Hi, Jules.
Hi.
Um, what would be good for hips? It's for my mom who has hip issues.
I would go with that 2, 3, 4. It's the fascia, muscle, and bone. And then I'm also getting the 8 for inflammation.
Thank you.
You could have her rub the Ormis on her hip, though. I would definitely have her do that if you have some, which I think you do.
Yeah, I gave
Yeah,
her one bottle.
yeah. I would have just have her rub a little bit on the area and then do the code.
And to do that, how frequently?
I mean, you have to think like when we're working with reprogramming, I say do it every day till it's done,
Once
right?
a day?
Yeah, I would do it once a day. You could even do it twice a day, but that's kind of pushing it, right, for some people. But anytime you're working with, like, you have to think you're taking your body from a Hertz wave to a scalar wave. And that transition is about every 12 hours.
Yeah, and one quick question. I bought the DMT 963 scalar. So what is the usage for that?
For what is it?
The one that says 963 DMT scalar blend.
Oh, the oil? Is
Yeah,
it
what is that?
so that I always use that before I do any sort of activation or meditation and rub it on my third eye, and it helps release a 963 from the pineal gland. So see it like a pineal gland activation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank
it's a
you.
good one. That's my favorite one. Thank you, Javier. Good to see you. All right, and then we'll go with Kathy.
What would you suggest to use on somebody that has Alzheimer's?
Mm, that's a great question. I'm going to pick a code for you, and then I'm really getting a lot with that. Were you at here at the very beginning when we did the reprogramming?
Mm-hmm.
I would do a lot of that. So let me just see. 4, 6, 9, 33. So I would rub put the codes, do the activation of the codes. If you have the Ormus, you can do that. And then running. So each time, what I would do after you press the buttons,
Okay, this
I,
is for somebody else.
that will you be in their presence?
Yes.
Okay. So take the 4 and you'll do the code. So it just you can just gently put your hand on them or something. But
Okay.
I get the four, or if they can do it even better, if you can put their hand there.
Okay.
But then afterwards, I see you like pressing the four and putting it into your finger and running it like like running specifically that four first, do the reprogram, and then the next one. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's
Yes.
almost like you're doing each one specifically.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Jules, two more quick ones. One is psoriasis, eczema, so clearing spots on the skin.
Mm.
And then if the oils have a shelf life.
The oils would, yeah, they would be about a year to a year and a half. I mean, not, eventually, I guess maybe that's not true. I honestly don't know the answer to that. I would say if they start to smell bad, then they're probably bad, but other than that, they're not. But we use coconut oil and it's almost all essential oil, and I know that that lasts a lot longer. Sorry, that was a horrible answer, but I'm just not really sure. Um, and what was the other question?
Clearing spots on the skin like eczema or psoriasis.
Oh my gosh, Ormis is so good for that. So if you have Ormis, definitely go and then do the one code, DMT code number one, put the Ormis on, run the press, so put it on the area, the Ormis, and then press the one. I would hold it for about a minute, and I would try to do it every day until it gone. Trish, hi, Amy.
Hello.
Hi.
If someone is doing a a detox, for example, somebody asked about the liver and releasing heavy metals. Now, the body itself would see that as, oh my goodness, that's a big deal. If we're doing using the copper cards and the codes, do we still have to consider the body detoxing at a quick level? Because if you're letting metals going, the kidney's going to come into play, etc.
Yeah, detoxing is something that I would not, I would like personally, just because I'm not a doctor and I strongly recommend detoxing, but as far as like giving how to do it, I don't, that isn't in my scope of practice. Anytime we're releasing heavy metals, I strongly recommend having it monitored because that can get pretty pretty
Right.
intense for the
Yeah,
body.
that was my point in bringing that up, because if we're using the codes to do, say, heavy metals, it is a big deal.
Well, okay, let's back that up.
Okay.
If you're detoxing on a frequency level, that's going to be a little bit different than doing something to detox the body. That's more what I'm talking about. So if you're doing it in tandem with something else, have support by a doctor. If you're doing it on a frequency level, your body's going to do it in exactly the way that it needs to, and it's not going to put your body into shock.
hmm
It's right, it's doing it with frequency.
hmm Yeah, I was asking because earlier someone asked a question, and it was, you said once, do it once a day or twice a day. I believe it was about the hips and inflammation. So that's what made me think, does that apply to a lot? Yes, we're doing frequency, working at a frequency level, but we also have a human body.
No, for sure. But that's why frequency always knows,
Okay.
right? That would be like saying, I'm trying to think. That would say if you had Reiki every day, that you shouldn't do it.
Okay.
You're right. It's like the frequency knows what to do.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
that's kind of a silly example. I was just trying to come up with an example, and that's
Mhm.
what came through. So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
get
so
it.
you can do Reiki on yourself every day. If anything, you might trigger more of an emotional level, but and it may trigger a little bit of a detox within the body, but it's not going to be something that's going to be more than what your body needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. The frequency always knows. What's that saying? Frequency doesn't lie. It always knows.
Jules,
Thank
can Ormus help with vertigo?
Oh, I haven't had that one yet, but let's say, of course, because it helps with everything. Um, Vertigo, I can't remember what triggers that. I can't remember. Inner ear, that's right. I would work with it intentionally. This is the cool thing about Ormus is that it's conscious. And the more that you ask it and give it intention, you know what ooh, this is what I just got. Put a little Ormus on your fingers and rub those two little points in the back of your head, like right here. And then after you do that, if you have two tennis balls in a sock so that they're right next to each other, and then lay on that area, and it's gonna open up the spinal fluid that flows into your brain, and I'm getting that that'll help. So try it and let me know. All right.
We have another one. Someone applies topically Ormus to their 7-year-old son's skin. Is it safe for her son to ingest it safely?
I wouldn't at 7. I don't think there's any reason. They're so sensitive that I would just keep it topically. I don't think there's any reason to have them ingest it. They're so sensitive. Any other questions?
I did add a link to our Ormus resource page on the website. But for those who want to explore, if you click our resource page, you can learn more about the evolution scalar technology, how it's working. You can learn more about the copper card and also the Ormus. So just helpful for any of those that want to explore.
Beautiful. We have one more question. This will be our last one. And it's Christine.
Hi, thank you for taking my question.
Of course.
My question is around, have you worked this at all with any of the yin yang energy blocks? Like in TCM medicine, there might be like a yin deficiency, or I deal with that, and I deal with too much phlegm, like excess of phlegm.
So I'm not sure exactly I know what your question is because don't know that, but I'll tell you what I saw when you asked
Okay.
is, so if like with the yin yang, are those like body on the body? Like, give me how you,
They're meridians in the body, and then
yeah.
they connect organs. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So what I saw was your scanning. So if there was one that's out, just go ahead and scan for what code. And then you can take the code and put it in your finger, just like by pressing it. And then however you're going to balance that in the body to run the code through the meridian.
How do I scan?
Just you can do it either with a pendulum or muscle testing
Okay.
for what you want to do. Yeah,
Thank you.
of course. All right. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for all your amazing questions. And feel like we covered a lot today. So we do this once a month. Angie, when's our next conference?
Let me see. The next one is August 20th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time.
All right. Well, I hope to see you all then. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And I'm sending you so much love.